All right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Spilling Ink. We are the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing marketplace. How's everyone doing tonight?
We're good.
Excellent.
It's looking like ladies' night. I don't know where the boys went who were supposed to be on the show today. Maybe we scared them off.
We rock.
That's okay. We can do this without them. That's fine. That's fine. We have a lot to talk about. But before we do, we got to pay homage to our sponsor. So give us just a second and we will hear from Joe with Go Indie Now.
Hello, everybody. I am Joe Compton, and welcome to our channel, Go Indie Now. This is the place that celebrates indie artists and artist art, and we do so by producing several shows that either air on daily, weekly, monthly, or seasonal scheduling. And within those shows, we aim to educate and entertain you. If you're an indie artist.
All right, I'm going to stop that right there because that's annoying. I don't know what is going on with the video. That was crazy. Y'all were all hearing the echo too, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way so that we don't annoy everybody with a full minute worth of echoing ads. So for those of you who don't know, and I know most of you do, Go Indie Now is the online indie artist network. They offer exciting new content weekly, monthly, and seasonally, all of which highlight and support indie authors of all art forms. So check them out on YouTube, subscribe to their Facebook at goindienow.com to find out all the information. And remember, it's always time to go indie now. All right. Are you guys getting the weird echoes? I'm starting to hear a little echoing going on too on my end.
I'm not.
Okay. So maybe it's just me and I can well, just mute me. I don't need to talk.
And I don't know. Yeah, nobody else has said anything about echoes. So.
Oh, wait, hold on. Lots of feedback. Echo, echo, echo. No. Oh, Mike said we're okay now. Okay. All right. Okay. So it must have been the video that was causing that weird echo. And I heard some of it on another show I did this weekend. So I'm wondering if StreamYard is just having some problems with their streaming with the automated videos. So we'll kind of pay attention to that. And if need be, then we'll just read the sponsor script instead of playing it.
Right.
And it's gone. Okay, good. All right. So, Sarah, since you haven't been on in a while, let's reintroduce you to our audience.
As I stare stupidly into the camera. My name is Sarah Buhrman, aka the Author Goddess. I am the author of the Runespell series and a whole bunch of other short stories and novellas and such. So you can find me everywhere, Author Goddess or Sarah Buhrman.
All right, perfect. And Jane, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a release this week that kind of fell flat because apparently I knocked it out on Amazon Prime Day.
Oh,
bad timing.
Oh, man.
And that was after moving it for COVID stuff. Yep. So, like October 13th sounds great. Oh, idiot.
Now, wait a minute. Now, how are you to know that that was a bad day? I mean, think about it. Everybody's ordering from Amazon. Your books are in Amazon. It should mean that more people are apt to order your books.
It should mean. Should, but visibility, even for some major authors was down because of all the Prime sales and things like that. So all the, I don't know if they were taking up sponsored ad space either, as well for all their Prime stuff, but it just was a mess.
With Amazon, it's always hit or miss on how to hit the algorithms just right. And we see a lot of times the memes that fly around that say, oh, well, if you get 50 reviews, you're going to do better in the algorithms. If you make a certain number of sales, you're going to do better in the algorithms. And I don't think any of us knows which theory is right. I think they all kind of play.
I think they change it. I think there's some evil mastermind in the background going, okay, some people have gotten this. Let's change it on them.
I think Amazon doesn't make very much money on books, so they don't really push the book.
Which is
Probably.
interesting because when you look at the royalty structure, when you publish just through Amazon, we're not talking about publishing through anywhere else, but you publish just through Amazon, you're only getting, what is it, 60-40 is the split?
70-30.
Yeah.
Well, that's for ebooks. On the print side, isn't it a 60-40 split?
Yeah, probably.
So
It might be.
So
After cost.
Yeah, they're taking a bit already off the top. They make money when you make money. Same goes for ebooks. They make money when you make money. And Amazon has that sneaky little delivery charge that they don't tell people about because it's in the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
But do they make as much money?
That we have to actually math for, and I don't math well. I don't number. I word.
Yes.
From what I understand, yes, they make money off of books, but it's like pennies instead of dollars kind of thing. So,
yeah.
Hey, I'm really disappointed that everybody is so concerned about whether or not they're making money when Bezos needs a new yacht. Come on, people.
How dare you? How dare you think of the billionaires? Why aren't we thinking of the billionaires?
I'm thinking of the billionaires, and I have like a roasting pit on me for that.
So Mike asks a question. He says, "What is this delivery charge?"
Well, some of us buy Prime and don't have to deal with that as much, but
there is a small print
still a cost.
Delivery fee for ebooks through Kindle that if your ebook is of a certain size, they begin to take a small extra chunk of your royalties to deliver the ebook to someone's e-reader. And that comes off of your sales and your royalties.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to read the fine print when you are uploading your book, and you need to check your file size. These lovely people that like to put lots of images and embed their fonts and do all that fun stuff that bulks the file up, makes it look real pretty, but bulks the file up, are getting a little extra shaved off of every single sale that Amazon is pocketing as a delivery charge. Only Amazon does it. The other ones do not.
And let's be realistic. Why are you changing your font for an ebook? People are going to go into their Kindle and change the fonts anyways.
Right.
Yeah, and I've had to explain that more times than I care to when it comes to explaining how an ebook is going to differ from a print book. Because somebody looks at their print book and they're like, oh, this is beautiful, I love it. And then they get the ebook and they're like, why doesn't this look right? All right, I have it almost saved now as just cut and paste. Here's the explanation. I've said it so many times that an ebook is not the same. It is going to have different reflowing text because it's going to be viewed on a computer screen or on a phone or on a tablet or a dedicated e-reader. It has to be compatible with all of them. Therefore, it has to dumb everything down, so to speak, in order to make it compatible. That includes font. Font is a piece of software. If you don't have the same software as I do installed, you're not going to read the same thing I can, which is why they dumb it down to a simplified font. So yes, there's a lot a lot of education that people need to understand about ebooks that differ from the print version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They can slim some stuff down. Yes, Derek. However, images are always going to take up a lot more space. Embedding fonts, which some people still do, is going to take up more space. So there are things that are going to bulk a file up. And depending on what your file is, if you've got a 100,000 plus word ebook, that's going to be a lot larger than a 20,000 word novella. So text, the amount of text you have, the amount of elements you have, those are what really bulk the file up. But yes, there are things that formatters can do to help trim it down a little bit without sacrificing too much of the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Books are such a pain in the butt to format.
The pretty pictures. I don't have pretty pictures in mine.
I just tell people, you know what, keep it as simple as possible. If people are reading ebooks, I mean, let's face it, when's the last time you picked up an ebook and went, you know what, this font is not pretty enough, I'm just going to return it.
No.
That's not what people do. there's a certain, when you do get something that's pretty, but it's not a make or break situation. So keep it simple. Pick sans or serif font. Those are your choices. And then, they're going to change it anyways. And oh my gosh, I am going to cut off the fingers of anybody who uses the tab key. I mean, just seriously, stop it.
Yes.
What the heck are you doing?
I know the tab key irritates me.
Control H, search all. It's the little caret and a T. Replace all. Done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've learned to teach my son that because I'm like, format it. Don't tab. Stop tabbing.
Also, hit the enter key after each paragraph so you create an actual space.
Yes.
Oh, that drives me nuts. I had to go through a manuscript recently where I had to manually enter in all of these spaces between the paragraphs because they didn't put any.
Yeah.
Actually, when you run it through and you format it, it squishes everything together. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Now I got to go back through and add all of those spaces in this huge book. It's so time consuming.
Well,
yeah.
we can format it with an extra space after the line.
It was a nonfiction book where the spacing really mattered.
Okay.
It had to have those manual spaces entered because otherwise it was jamming everything together. The spaces between bullet points weren't looking right. I mean, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare.
God bless you.
Ebooks are very tricky. Yes, they are.
They are. Especially for nonfiction.
Well, nonfiction's a beast all unto itself because novels are fairly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Nonfiction adds in bullet points and tables and charts and usually more images, and they want pretty headers and oh my goodness.
Oh yes.
A pretty header is a header you can read. Let's just stick with that. Come on.
The idea of an ebook is to make it clean and easy to read. That's the whole point of it. You want, especially nonfiction, you want your message to make sense. You want your message to be easy to absorb.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you make it all kinds of crazy. You need to make the text right there simple and easy for a reader to understand and take in.
On any e-reader. That's
any e-reader, yes.
If you want your book to sing or dance, you don't want an ebook, you want an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bingo.
Absolutely. How did we get on that topic? We were talking visibility and we just went right down the rabbit hole.
Formatting and the delivery charge. That's
what did it. That's what did it.
That's what took us down the rabbit hole of formatting.
and to bring it back around, everyone out there who is publishing your own books, go read the fine print because you will see there is a delivery charge. And when you go to your Amazon page where you actually publish your book and you enter the price in, it'll show you what that delivery charge actually is if you look. Now, if you just skim through it and you just put your numbers in and go, you're going to miss it. It's not obvious. Go look at the page, hit the little down arrow and make everything visible, and you're going to see that delivery charge.
Yep, exactly.
Now, interestingly, I recently answered a question for somebody I did an editing job for because he essentially did a collection of like short stories that were like origins for the characters and stuff. And, really great stuff. But I was like, okay, you have like 4 or 5 characters here. You should break this up. He's like, why? I'm like, okay, because instead of having one book for 99 cents, it's like 150 pages in Word, you can have like 5 books for 99 cents each. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, and I'm like, and you can market them as individual bite-sized pieces because, I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people don't really seem to understand. There is so much more desire for different sizes of reading. There are people who want the ginormous stuff. There are people who want the bite-sized stuff. And there are people who want the ginormous stuff for when they're spending the weekend at home and the bite-sized stuff for when they're in the doctor's office. People want these variations. You don't just cram everything you've ever written into a single book. Don't do that. It's
Yeah,
weird.
there's a market for all book types. And as long as you are honest with what is in your book, you're not going to get the complaints.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, when I had all my short stories out, I actually put the length in the short story, and I put X pages in the description so that it wasn't a surprise. Like, okay, or yeah, because I didn't do words because people don't connect words with pages.
No.
So if it was 10 pages versus 20 pages versus 30 pages, I put that in there so that it was no surprise. But I still got dinged by, you're asking 99 cents for this. I'm like, yes, it's something I created. Come on.
The people,
I'm asking to be paid to work. Yeah, I kind of am.
Exactly.
the value of artwork, it is really skewed right now.
Oh, isn't it though?
Yeah, it is. It's really bad because they don't understand, nor do they care, the effort that goes into the production of a book. And when you do take on, as an indie, the production of the book, you see not only the time involved in writing, but the cost involved as well as the time involved in producing. And you can't make any money off that book unless you recoup the cost.
Yeah, and in a lot of cases, you're looking at, on the cheap side, 500 minimum. On the upside, it could be in the thousands to produce a book. So it's not between the editing, if you need content editors, or story editors, or deeper editing versus the cover art. Depends on, I mean, cover art ranges. I wouldn't get the $10 one on 5error, but there are those, and because those are likely ripoffs, to the $2,000 illustration or $5,000 illustration. And then audiobooks, same thing. If you want an audiobook, you're paying hundreds to thousands for that production too. So, having something for 99 cents and having people balk at it if you've done all of these other things, it's like, I'm sorry.
That's a sorry, not sorry moment, because the business side of it is, yes, the time was spent, money was invested in the creation of this product that is for sale commercially. If you would like it, then you need to pay the price that is set on it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. And, a lot of times, I know it sounds very callous to say it that way, but a lot of times authors do a lot of giveaways on their books, and they have ways for you to read their books without making any payment for them or having any charge. And if you talk to an author, they will generally point you in that direction, because things like getting book reviews are important to us.
Right.
So we're willing to do that kind of an exchange when the customer is respectful, when the reader's respectful of that. A lot of times we put our books into Draft to Digital, which is an aggregator. Draft to Digital sends your book out to the library systems. So if that book has been made available to the library systems, we point people in the direction of the libraries. You're reading for free there, guys.
Right.
So it makes sense for us to have that working relationship and to find ways to make it available to those readers who can't afford it, legitimately can't afford it, and it still benefits everybody in the publishing ecosystem.
Right.
Well, okay, so I'm going to be really, really, really naughty here. If you don't have the money to buy a car, why are you in the Benz car lot? I mean, seriously. If you can't afford to buy a 99-cent book, why are you looking for books? I mean, I would think that maybe your priorities might be somewhere else right now. Just a thought, or just, look up free books. Then you don't even have that problem. Like at that point, the cost is obviously more important than, getting these specific items, because 99 cents, and I mean, even people who struggle with money can usually afford 99 cents. I mean, that is like a really weird hill to die on.
And to provide perspective, that 99 cents you paid for the book equates to about 34 cents to the author.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get that 99 cents just handed to us. We get it 90 days later sometimes in that 35-cent,
Hey,
check.
I have an e-file. If you put a George Washington in my hand, I will hand you a 99-cent book and a penny right back. I might have to look around to find a penny.
Oh yes, and the streaming services and all that too. That's right. And a lot of people, I think they're burned out on how much they're paying for other forms of entertainment, that by the time they get to us, they're like, I just don't want to pay anymore. I'm sorry, but we are also trying to earn a living too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Exactly.
not sorry. But let's switch over to a more positive point on this, keeping in the same thing about, getting our books out there and getting people to buy them. What are things we can do to increase our visibility? Starting with that file that we upload. What do you do inside the book to help let people know that you have more books?
Back matter.
Yes.
Do your back matter.
Yes.
In the very back of the book, there better be links. You are using an ebook. Make it clickable.
Yes. Exactly.
Hyperlinks are a thing. Ooh.
Yep. If you're
And
doing,
the thing is, you don't even have to do anything complicated. Be like, here's my website, here's my Amazon page, whatever. You
Right.
can find stuff here. You don't have to go through and relist all of your books every time.
right, or put the next book in the series that you have a pre-order of, or or if you like this, you might like this one. One or two books in the back matter, not huge amounts.
Oh, I'm guilty
because people won't page through that, huh?
I'm guilty of the huge. Well, I do it in a list. I say other books by Katie Saulitis, and I list every single book, and then I may after that put a teaser chapter from another book after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I used to put all the covers.
Oh,
and all the series. Yeah.
Images.
Yep, images. Yes, I do put images in there, but
See, I have this little half paragraph that's like, thanks, fans like you are what make me a success. You can find me.
We've got a good comment here from V Brown saying that Goodreads used to have a free giveaway, but now they charge you for that service. A lot of places have switched from free ways to reach users to charging now for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And not just charging a little bit, charging a lot.
Yes, I have a free book going up on Amazon for the countdown at the end of the month, and I've gotten BookSends, Free Booksy, and ENT Reader News. Those three. I couldn't get a book bug.
They're super expensive too. Oh my goodness. Whoa, what's that?
I have no idea.
That was my phone telling me stuff. So it's too loud, and I'm making it shut up now.
Yes.
Mom gag.
Yeah. So I mean, and they're more expensive than those three are more expensive than I thought. But I want to try to do a pretty decent free run so that I can get the other books in that series going. So it's for Fire Curse. So that'll be the weekend of Halloween.
Well, okay. So here's my problem with the Goodreads thing, because that's really the one that I have a big problem with. I've already done the work building my platform on Goodreads. Mm-hmm. They didn't really give me any advantages on that, except for providing the platform to build.
Right.
And I'm giving away a book, and they're going to charge me money to give something away for free on a platform that I've already established.
Yeah.
It's like if it was $5 or $10, that would be something. But we're talking $200-$300.
Really? I haven't been to Goodreads in forever, so
they make it cost prohibitive to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the key thing. It is cost prohibitive because, the thing is, it's like this reversion to this elitist author style where, sure, you can be an author as long as you can afford it.
Right.
No, that's supposed to be the thing that makes me money. Stop it.
Now, this is where Joe brings up, I was going to bring this up in just a second, but he brought it up before me, story origin.
Yeah.
There are many, and I call them author portals for lack of a better word. There are many author portals out there. Prolific Works is one of them, Book Sprout, Book Funnel, and Story Origin. The difference between those 4 platforms is the first 3 charge money. Story Origin does not charge. Now, they may eventually, and when they do, honestly, I will pay for it because the service that they offer has been phenomenal. Yes. And the creator, Evan Gao, is amazing and really loves the indie community and wants to help. So he is on weekly, daily sometimes, answering messages, helping people figure his system out, sending newsletters with updates, and he takes that feedback and helps improve his platform. Now, if you haven't, you've heard us say Story Origin multiple times on this channel. If you haven't been there, you need to go there. And I'm going to make sure that link is in the show notes at the end of our show. Story Origin allows you to exchange ARCs, to join group newsletters, to help build your newsletter list, to offer giveaways, to create universal links, to do audiobook reviews, to do book reviews where you can manage who is reviewing your book and actually have stats on whether or not they are real legitimate reviewers. They offer so many things and it is free. And that is the biggest thing that we need right now in this pay-to-play system is a way to start our marketing without cutting our nose off because it's so cost prohibitive these days to get your book out there.
Yeah, I use Prolific Works and they do have a free version that is, it's actually really good. It gives you all the stuff that you really, really need. Like it doesn't let you do all of the little tweaking necessarily, but it gives you all the stuff you really need.
Well, that's good. That's good that they have a free option because we need that, especially for the authors starting out who do not have a backlog of books or money set up in budgeting to really do this.
Well, you know, in case nobody's noticed, I have kind of a firm line on I'm not paying people to let me give away my book.
Right.
That is weird.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Jay.
Oh, my Lord.
And Anita says it right there. Evan listens to his users. Evan is absolutely a wonder. I appreciate everything he does.
Oh, absolutely. He's fantastic in that manner. And I love his story counter, his writing counter. He's got, you know, the chart on, you know, your goal and how you're getting there. It's great.
Yeah. And then we should also mention CL Cannon at Fiction Atlas Press. She does some amazing builders that are definitely budget friendly, and she really does put the work in, and she harnesses the power of everybody working together. So not only are you signing up for something, but you are also helping to push other people's work out as much as your own, and that's important.
And I'm waiting for CL to do a paranormal thriller or horror one. I've been watching for that because I know she's so reasonably priced that, I mean, it's like you can't get into most of these builders for that kind of price.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure those links are all in the show notes.
Just recently did a Dresden Files one.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So, yeah. Because she markets so much on Facebook, since, you know, so many people have been moving away from Facebook, that's kind of hard to keep an eye out. But I think she markets it in her newsletters too, doesn't she?
I'm not sure. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, if you're watching, you've got some requests here.
Yeah, CL, please, horror. We need horror. And I'm sorry I was late, everyone. We had one of those nights that you just hope you don't have at work, where we had to go out of town to shoot a session, but the client didn't give us the correct location, and so we drove around for a half an hour. The session started way late, and yeah, so here I am late as per usual. As per usual.
On time, so you made an entrance, okay?
Well, I remember seeing a message flash up on my phone on the way home from Katie saying, "Where is everybody?" I was like, "Oh no, if nobody showed up, this is gonna be bad."
Well, both of our both of the boys for this episode didn't show up. So it was Jay, you, and we were supposed to have David Whalen on today.
Okay.
And I just checked my Facebook message. He's like, "Oh, when do we start?" 30 minutes ago.
Like, now, dude, come on
It
now.
was in the email I sent, guys, what time we start. Check your emails.
Oh, emails. Well, Sarah, how have you been? How's life been treating you?
Good. I'm bad.
Awesome. That's awesome. Is it?
I feel called out now.
How about you ladies up on the top corners?
It didn't snow in Plymouth, but it snowed in the mountains. As we were driving by, we could see all the ski things with snow on it. It's snowing in New Hampshire in October.
It snowed in northern Michigan, I think, last night too.
Yeah, last night. Yep.
And Katie, you look amazing tonight, Katie. I love your hair with the kind of the twist going down the side.
Oh, thank you.
That's nice.
I like to call that, I just blew dry my hair after the shower.
If you're blow drying your hair, you're doing something right. Half the time my girls are just
the rarity.
I did mine tonight too, because I had it in a clip all day, and I was sitting at the dinner table and I was like shivering. I'm like, I'm cold. And I took my hair down. I said, my hair's still wet. So
I get that all the time.
Oh yes, you do.
We're discussing ways that we can improve our visibility as authors and all the pitfalls that entails.
Don't joke.
Improve visibility.
That was the best reaction right there. That is exactly like every author reacts to that. Oh my God, no.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, I'll just listen to this conversation. How about that?
I think that most indie authors would agree with me that if we thought it would improve the spread and visibility of our books, we would literally randomly throw our books out of the car window as we're driving down the street.
Yes, we would.
Okay,
we have those free libraries. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
True story. When I used to travel more often, I would always stuff a book into the airplane seat back little pocket so that somebody might see it someday. I would write a little note to read and pass it on. I don't know if it ever actually got passed on or if anybody ever read it or if it just got dumped in the trash. But I did used to do that back when I traveled a lot more.
I left bookmarks in the Comic-Con VP room.
Yeah. Yep.
On the tables. I just left them there.
And we have those little free they're like little library boxes around town here where they're full of books and people can just take them for free. And I've gone around before when I have copies of my books on hand and I've just stuck them in there. And I'm just like, I'm just throwing money away, but I'm doing it.
Yes.
No, Rebekah, do not throw your books at people. That's actually a liability, not visibility.
Into the head.
David, how are you?
Hi, guys.
Guys, join us.
That's all right. I just got here 5 minutes ago, too. It's all good.
Okay, good. Better late than never, right?
As we said at the beginning of the show, the boys are all late today, so it's going to be ladies' night. We're going to control the show today.
Glad I could barge in then.
Well, David, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, I'm David Whalen. I'm the owner-operator of Correct Handed Comics. I write, draw, and produce letter, color, a solid line of comic books that deal from everything from superheroes to sci-fi to thriller to noir. We just had our issue 13 of our ongoing series, The Offspring, come out 2 months ago. And I am about a week and a half away from my second one-shot called I Won't Stop coming out.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, welcome to the show.
Again, thank you for having me.
Tonight's topic is all about visibility.
Awesome.
Oh, see, he didn't laugh like Jay did. Jay just burst into tears laughing.
Yeah. Always try to be as visible as possible, but yet in the corner of the room where nobody can see you.
Oh, nice. Yep. Rebekah, you cannot throw books at people. That's not the visibility you want. I know they say no or bad publicity is good publicity. It's not. That's not the one you want.
But it would get her name out there.
Oh.
No, visibility. You know what? I'll tell you what, I have been, because I haven't, this is going to sound terrible because this is a, writing and books and publishing and whatnot podcast, but I've almost given up on trying to promote books online. It just doesn't work for me. And so now my thing is, how do I promote podcasts online? Because they're easy for people to digest. You don't have to do any work at all to listen to a podcast or to watch a show like ours, unlike reading a book, which is so difficult for people. So I'm like, so how do I get the word out about these podcasts? And I'm running into the same kind of roadblocks we do with books, where there are now so many podcasts that it's just tough to get, Spilling Ink or Unafraid or whatever show it is to stand out and to be recognized by anyone. So it's a tough thing. And I would love to hear any, potential ideas or success stories that people have had, because over the years doing the show, Katie, we've had people on that have great success with promoting their work, and then other people that have tried similar methods that haven't had success at all with it. So that's a tough nut to crack for sure.
That's the thing I think we've learned through the 4 years that we've been doing the show, is that it's never one size fits all.
Right.
And it's a lot of trial
Unlike
and
my
error
undies.
specific to you.
Yes, unlike your undies.
Yes. We'll talk about that later.
Well, the undies fit like forever. They really do. Like, I swear I've got a pair of underwear that's like 15 years old in my drawer. And they just they keep fitting.
God bless your wife.
I swear my kids, and for those of us that have kids, and I think most of us here probably have kids, like they'll get those first pair of, big boy or big girl underwear when they're finally out of diapers, and you're like, oh, praise God. And they'll wear those suckers for like a year or two. It's like they're teeny tiny, but they'll just keep wearing the stupid things. I don't know how they stretch. I don't get it, but I've
got a funny underwear story.
I'm constantly telling my kids, no, you can't wear. But I can get them on. Yeah, but you look like a muffin top. Come on, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. No more.
I've got a funny underwear story and a warning message out there. Mothers with sons. So we got caught up in that whole, big boy underwear, buy them something that they're going to be excited to wear to help stop accidents kind of a thing. And for Hunter, I had bought those cute, super silky, they got the characters on them, boxer brief type shorts. He loved Mario. He's loved Mario since he was a baby. So I found the whole Mario collection of them for him. And he wore them and he loved them, absolutely loved them. And then he stopped wearing any other underwear. So anything else we bought him, he didn't want to wear those. And now the boy will only wear these silky boxer brief underwear. You cannot get him to put any other underwear on. So that is now the only underwear I can buy, and it's always expensive. Anything else on him, and he does this weird wiggle. It itches. I don't like it. It itches.
Buy 7 pairs of the same underwear and just write on the back tag Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. But I can relate. I can relate to that, Hunter, because for a few years though, I was hooked on the Jockey brand boxer briefs, and I can't tell you what it is about them, but they're way more comfortable than all of the other major brands. They're just comfy. They really are. But they're $19.99 a pair. It's like, yes. Who could afford $20 a pair for underwear? So
for $19.95, do they come with a television?
They don't, but they're that silky material that feels so nice on your
fancy
butt.
Stuff.
Now, if you can afford $19.95 for underwear, you can afford a 99-cent book.
That's right.
Back on topic, guys. Back on topic.
But I have broken out of that. I mean, I'll have you know that now I'm wearing Hanes. They're much less expensive.
Good.
Not quite as comfy, but I'm getting by. Yeah.
Oh, Rasheen.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, goodness. What were we talking about?
Visibility.
Well, Joe piped right in there on the so much for Jay hearing the advice. Squirrel came. Joe, I'd like to hear your advice. I mean, you're kind of like you're like the guru when it comes to, the podcasting and shows and everything. How do you get people to come and eat at your table?
You talk about underwear.
That's the question. Although bringing it back to something we talked about earlier, CL Cannon with Fiction Atlas Press, she utilizes the crowd, not necessarily crowdsourcing, but when you sign up for one of her builders, it's not only her sending stuff out, but it's everyone who is part of that sending stuff out. So it's utilizing the crowd to help increase awareness of product.
Yeah, I think one of the issues for me as far as all the social media and trying to make sure, with podcasts, I'm in the position where when I find a new one, I want to jump on and I want to talk to them and I want to get to know them and I want to be a part of what they're doing. And there's so many great podcasts out there now especially because of all the weirdness going on right now. Everybody's like, hey, I might as well start a podcast. And I'd say in the last 6 months, I've met more people in the last 6 months that enjoy things that I enjoy than I've met in the last 20 years out in the real world. Which has been an amazing experience. And for me, seeing all the new different places to be able to talk about things that I enjoy has been an amazing experience. And the sad thing is, I think, is that there's so many different avenues to be able to promote whatever it is, comic books or podcasts or books or whatever it is, that sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. Like you start, okay, today I'm going to focus on Twitter. And then your Facebook starts blowing up. You're like, oh, I've got to go over to Facebook. And you completely forget about the Twitter. Or you go into, I've been using, I know it sounds funny. I don't know if anybody else does this, but TikTok. Been making, like my daughter and I have been making funny videos holding up my books on TikTok. And quite honestly, in the last 2-3 weeks, I've gotten more feedback from the TikTok stuff and more books sold from TikTok than I have in the last month from Facebook. Just because of the funny, silly videos that my daughter and I are putting out. So it's such a roller coaster and such a full-time job just to do the social media stuff that it's hard to be able to put that down to be able to actually create the books sometimes.
I mean, the thing is, multiple platforms is really the way to go. Mm-hmm. And the more variation you can have, the more you're going to hit. Yeah, I do think that there's something that a lot of authors kind of flinch away from, and that is picking their audience. Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to exclude anybody. But the problem is, like, how can you focus on your ideal audience, thereby being most likely to get everybody, if you don't have any focus at all?
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's my new thing right now is, ideal audience.
I think the reason for that, though, is because audience overlaps a lot.
It does. But we need to keep that in mind. Like, if you pick one circle of your Venn diagram, then you're going to hit other aspects of those, the other circles a little bit at least. And we need to keep that in mind. We're not doing a focus for exclusion. We're doing a focus for focus.
That makes sense. Now, I do want to counterpoint the multiple social medias, because it becomes a full-time job to try and manage all of them. I generally will caution my clients to try and focus on 2 that they're willing to spend time on, because you really do have to cultivate the audience on that platform in order to reach them. And the way most algorithms are set up, it's all based on engagement and visibility. If you're not engaging, you disappear no matter how many posts you put up. So if you're really not focusing and engaging with your audience regularly, you fall off that visibility scale. So it doesn't matter if you 10 times a day. Nobody's seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when I say lots of platforms, I mean, don't just go with text, social media. Don't just go with, you want text, you want video, you want pictures, you want a variety of input.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the thing is too, when you're starting out, you want to hone and pinpoint who your audience is. But if you don't have a wide brush to start off with, you might not know who that is. You might, lose somebody in there. So honing in, I think, is starts wide, and then you start to. Well, I guess that's exactly what honing in is, and then and then getting smaller and smaller. I guess I'm just defining honing in now.
Yay, definition.
But it's that big umbrella of if you start off with just this group, you might miss somebody in the outskirts. So it's it's that juggling game of let me put it here and see if anybody bites on it. Let me put it in this place where I might not ever put it in. It's juggling all those different hopes and dreams and likes and wishes and all that.
I think Katie was the one who said this. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's hard to actually hit everybody. It's hard to actually sell things when you're trying to get, you're not trying to get everybody who would ever read your book. You're trying to get your core fan base.
Yeah.
Because the core fan base is going to be the ones who throw the book out the window and hit their friends in the face with it. They're the ones who do the word of mouth, and that's where you're going to get the most of your sales. But you can't market to all of those random people because they don't listen to you. They listen to the friend who throws the book out the window and hits them in the face.
Yeah.
Rebekah is cackling. We can't. Rebekah is totally cackling. She's listening to this.
She's like, I'm going to start throwing books out my window. And
you don't throw the books out the window. You get other people to throw the books out the window.
There it is. There it is.
Yes.
So
all the benefits, none of the consequences.
Michael makes the right point here. So when interaction is when somebody is commenting on your post, making sure you go back and you either you comment, you do an emoji, you do some sort of interaction with them. You get that communication flowing because somebody else will see now that you have commented and somebody else has commented on your post, and that increases your visibility. Yeah. So for instance, let's say Spilling Ink. We generally share our shows about midweek when the next one's coming up. And then we share them right before the show actually goes on. If our guests share a show during that midweek share when we put it out there, I usually go back in and I make sure to like it. I make sure to thank them for sharing. Just that little basics interaction does help visibility, not only for the person who shared, but for our show.
Yes.
So you gotta make sure you're on top of that.
No matter what social media you're on, it is better to ask people to tell you about themselves than it is to just talk at them. Because, I can tell everybody about my book, but interaction is when I sit there and go, oh my gosh, life is so stressful right now. What do you do to chill out? And people are like, let me tell you. They do. They're weird. It's candles.
No, people do like that. Think of it as like a first date. Ask them questions about themselves. People love to talk about themselves, and that creates a bond. You're sharing that information. They feel like you're interested, but don't just ask a question to get an answer. Ask a question that you want to continue the conversation with.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
And people can sniff out superficiality really easily. And if they see that you're doing that, they just ignore or back away from you or no longer interact with your page. And you don't want that.
Yeah, I've been sort of absent from my social media, like my page and my Twitter and things like that for a while now, because I've just been heads down writing as much as I probably can, possibly can. So I've been bad at that. Maybe that's part of the visibility issue. Who knows? And I know, I do have the Amazon ads. They're small amounts, so my bid is not, competing with a lot of people's bids because it's really small. But
well, that's the next level. Is we've done our social, we've used our author portals to reach people. We built our newsletter. What else do we do to increase visibility? Now we have to start looking at ads and what ad platforms are going to work best for you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that face.
Okay, so I'm in a really weird position because most of my books are on Amazon. My main series is through a small press publisher, so I don't have access to the KDP stuff to do ads for that series.
Right.
The other main series that I write is my erotica series under my pen name, and we all know how advertising erotica on Amazon works.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got short stories. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
So there we go. 11,000 followers isn't making a difference. That means that there's a lack of engagement.
Mike, you
Because
have 11,000 followers on Twitter? Holy cow.
I think that's 1.1.
And realistically, because Facebook has changed, actually, it's not even just Facebook, it's all the social media platforms. Their algorithms are changed to where they want you to pay for full visibility. So just making a post, you're only a percentage of that 11,000 are ever going to see it naturally or organically. And that's through regular interaction. And only those top people that you interact with regularly are ever going to see that. To access the rest of them, it's the pay to play system. And you put out a bid for how much you want to pay in order to reach a percentage of your audience per day, whatever.
Right.
And that's unfair to a lot of smaller businesses who maybe don't have a lot of money to use towards this, especially if we're trying to juggle where are we going to put our advertising dollars that's going to make the most sense.
Right.
Yeah. But that's why if you have like multiple styles of platform, you can cross post. Like if you do YouTube videos, you can post those on Facebook, and that changes the algorithm slightly enough that it does boost your visibility. So, you know, you throw in the advertising kind of under the radar that way. But yeah, I mean, it's really a Band-Aid on a waterfall. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I found also that you're kind of fighting a losing battle trying to beat that algorithm there. You know, one thing that I've done that has worked well for me is you know, you join all the groups that they're kind of interested in the same thing that you're interested in, and picking 5 or 6 to focus on for a month, and 5 or 6 here to focus on for another month, and really engaging in the things that are happening in those groups. And getting conversations going with everybody going, like you said, not just talking about your own stuff, but talking about what they're doing, also sharing other people's Kickstarter, sharing other people's work, you know, asking questions to them about it. And it's one of those things that out of sight, out of mind. The second you kind of stop doing that because you've got to go out into the real world and do things, the second it all just kind of fades away fairly quickly. And then you got to kind of start all over, getting that visibility in there, getting that interaction with people, which is a tough thing to do from time to time if you're, you know, struggling with a real job and family and, you know, all that stuff, and trying to create something in the process too. It's tough.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, there's no real right answer for that balance either.
And that goes back to the no one size fits all approach. It's really trial and error for each person on what's going to work, what's not going to work for them.
Yeah.
Well, and it even changes like week to week.
That's true too.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole bringing TikTok into it. I have yet to adopt a TikTok.
Right.
I had a hard enough time with Instagram as it was. But TikTok's a whole new beast. But I see a lot of people on there, and they report back that right now it's really working for them. Whereas last year it was Instagram, the year before. I mean, there's always something different. And where can you realistically put your time in?
Right.
TikTok.
When you don't want to put your time into creating your thing.
Yeah, you still have to have time to create. That's true.
It's like surgery. It's like being very surgical with it. I'm gonna focus on this right now for 20 minutes so I can go back to my book and hopefully somebody will eventually read it someday.
Right. Exactly.
TikTok is
right
wonderful. If you want to look at videos of funny dogs and cats and other animals, it's great for that. I mean, you can get sucked into TikTok for hours just watching funny animal videos. It really is quite fun.
It is a distraction. It's a really good distraction. And speaking of funny videos, my daughter showed me one that was the trick your dog to make him think he's on a diet challenge. And they showed somebody scooping a big scoop and then shaking it all out and dropping one little kibble into the bowl. And all the little dogs they did this to turned vicious. Yeah, very, very good distraction. It's great to waste time on.
Yeah. And then you found out you went to watch 4 videos, and then you find out you've watched 100, and it's been an hour and a half. And you're like, wait, what happened?
Mhm.
What just happened? I've wasted an hour and a half. Cool.
Yeah, that's just,
So they got you. They doing it. What they're doing is working.
yeah. And
Not for us, but for them it is.
Right.
Whether or not you can harness that, though, does come down to your abilities, too, because you can't just throw a video on TikTok and expect it to be popular. So you've got to take the time to make a video, and even a 15-second video can be very hard to put together if you don't have the right skills for it. So you could be wasting a lot of hours learning how to create a video and then making a video and then, yeah. And I don't mean to be a downer. It's just the realities of it. People do need to understand, because we do all get stars in our eyes. We're like, oh, this is going to work for us. But there are a lot of things that go into what is working and what doesn't work and how much time's invested.
Yeah.
Right.
Right now I've been doing Twitch streaming, and the bonus of that is most writers on Twitch do streams where they essentially just do writing sprint after writing sprint and a little bit of chit chat in between. So you actually do get to do some work, but you also get to interact with a whole bunch of other people who are writing. And if you talk to them about what they're writing and help them out with their writing, then they start to see you as an expert of sorts. And that is actually a really great way to build an author platform, is to become that expert. And I say that expert, but I mean, there's room enough for everybody, seriously.
Yeah.
So, and Twitch is just one of those platforms that you can do that on. You can also do it on other platforms, and not necessarily video. You can do it 2 other ways, but, becoming the kind of person who, if somebody has a question about writing a book, they think, hey, I want to go talk to that person. And then when it comes time to, sit there and go, I should read a really well-written book so that I can kind of reset my authorness, then they're going to think of your book. So
now I have a question on these Twitch streams where they do writing sprints. So the writing sprint itself is just writing time. Are they having a camera on them while they're sprinting?
A lot of them, there's ones that do a camera on them. There's a couple of them that do where you actually see the document that they're typing, and then they have themselves as a picture-in-a-picture kind of situation. There's a couple that just do a screensaver style with a countdown clock, and there's a program that Twitch suggests to add royalty-free music. So most people have a little music playing in the background, and you got people chit-chatting in the chat and stuff like that. So it kind of varies. Each streamer has their own kind of thing. There's this one guy who has this virtual reality tiger avatar that reflects his movements. And they're like, oh yeah, you can get this program here. And they're really helpful. It costs money though, so I'm not going to be a tiger anytime soon. Yeah.
I think it would be funny sometimes just to see the writer as they're doing sprints and the odd facial expressions, or the talking to themselves, or they write a passage and they just hate it, and you can just see that look of fuck it. That would be kind of funny, but I don't know how long it would be interesting for.
Yeah,
that's a good exercise on that stuff too. I've been seeing people in the comments saying how they get caught in that, oh my gosh, I can do that better, and they just stop recording it. But for me, I was doing until school. So I'm a teacher, so when school started up, my days are sleep, draw, teach kids, sleep, draw, teach kids. So doing the live streams on Facebook or something like that, it's very easy to hate what you're doing and then turn it off, or you can push through what you're doing. And even though you hate it, it's a great lesson to be able to just keep pushing through and keep moving forward with it. You can fix it later off camera, but when you're on there, you're saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever drawn in my life. I'm so happy about it." And trying to keep yourself moving forward. Like I tell my students all the time, I lob off their erasers on their pencils, because I say we're spending more time erasing than we are drawing. So if I see you erasing, I'm just going to bite off your eraser on your pencil, because you need to just keep moving forward. If you're constantly moving backwards by erasing, we're never going to get anything done.
I like that.
Yeah, I try to do the same thing, especially in live feeds. I'm like, and if it's not going well, I go, well, this isn't going well. Let's just keep moving forward and see what happens. Those happy little accidents and happy little trees that sometimes come out.
I appreciate that when I see a creator or a YouTuber and they're making something. And I've lately gone down the rabbit hole on watching maker videos of all kinds. I enjoy when you see them screw up and they're like, we'll make this work. This is not supposed to be. We're gonna make. I like seeing that. I like that realism and that we can figure this out attitude.
Yeah, especially when you really enjoy their artwork and you're like, oh my gosh, they made a mistake. I make mistakes. We're all human beings. Let's continue making mistakes and continue making stuff.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Or like with the writing community, of course, you have a whole bunch of people who are like, yeah, this is my first draft and it's just not right. And it's like, join the flipping club.
20
books in, it's still not going to be right the first time.
I always tell my clients, your first draft is supposed to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
If it isn't a hot mess, you're actually doing something wrong, because that first draft is not meant for human consumption.
Yeah.
It's meant to get the words on the page. That's it.
Get the story out of your head.
Yeah.
It may not be polished, but getting the words down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that
note, seeing that connection, that the person behind the author, it really gives people a chance to understand who you are as a person. And I've found that sells books more than, I have this great idea. People want to read my books because they know what kind of person I am, not because, I wrote a book about, ravens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the difference between creators and just normal people, the normals, I call them, the normals who don't create, is that everybody's got one book in them, right? Everybody's got one story. It's the continuation of that, or the having more than one, and the ability to want to write it down and then actually do the writing of the down of the story.
Right.
Which is the difference between us not normals and all the normals.
Nah.
Hey, I'm normal. No, I'm normal.
We're not normal. Sorry. I don't want to be the one to break it to you. We're not normal.
No, hardly. No. I worked on a new nonfiction, and the title is supposed to be snarky to go along with my first nonfiction, which is Go Publish Yourself. The next one, the title is going to be Write, and then in brackets, and edit the damn book already. Step 1 on the first page is going to be butt in chair. Step 2, write.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody's got a story idea. I hate to break it to you. That's not going to be the thing that makes you stand out. And everybody's got a good story idea, but finishing that book, that's where the challenge is.
That is one of the hard parts. I used to say that is the hard part, but that's one of the hard parts, because really writing is the easy part in the process. Nobody knows until they're done how much harder it is to get from written book, polished and everything, to published book.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's what really writing and publishing a book is like climbing Mount Everest. As soon as you get to that plateau and you're like, yeah, that was the hardest thing ever. And then you look up and it's like,
oh no.
Still 4 million miles to go.
Yeah, and by the time you hit the part where the oxygen's so thin that you feel like you're going to pass out, you're almost there.
Right.
Yeah. Is that why I keep having blackouts?
The hard part too is when you keep passing the dead bodies as you're moving up.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
That guy didn't make it, but I'm gonna make it. Well, that guy didn't make it, but I'm gonna make it. Well, she didn't make it, but I'm gonna make it. Was that too much? Did I go too far? Was that too dark?
It's never too dark. Well, Katie, it looks like we're kind of a little over time now.
Oh my goodness, we are. This conversation's been so good that time has absolutely
Yeah, I just looked at the clock and I'm like, ooh, we gotta pay homage to our second sponsor.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. So that I do not forget this time, because I oopsed last time and I don't want Rebekah to get mad at me. We have to send out some love to Rebekah Jonesy, Mistress Rebekah Dirty Jonesy. You will be entertained. She has some amazing books that you absolutely need to check out. And she is also part of the Three Furies Press, who produces a lot of wonderful titles on unique voices. So definitely check out her books as well as Three Furies Press. All right.
Thank
Do we have anything else we want to do last minute before we leave? Anybody else want to bring up sales coming up, books releasing, anything important?
I do have a book coming out at the end of October called I Won't Stop. It's our second one-shot. I love the way it's coming out. I actually have about 4 more pages, so I'm completed with it. And it's going to be out at the end of October. We just had issue 13 of our ongoing series, The Offspring, come out a couple months ago. You can find all our books and everything that I've ever created on correcthandedcomics.com and links on where to buy them.
Awesome. Wonderful. Sarah, anything from you?
Don't really have anything coming out, but I am streaming regularly on Twitch. You can find me under Author Goddess, and come watch me pull my hair out while I write.
I love it. I love it. Jane?
Grimm's Daughter came out this week.
Dang it, I need a graphic from you so I can post that one up too.
Okay.
For next week. We'll get a graphic up for you.
Yes.
All right. And for myself too, every Sunday I am reading A Weapon of Magical Destruction. Check me out on katiesolitis.com or go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/katiesolitis. You can also see all the previous chapters. This week we're reading chapter 11. Anything from you, Jay?
Nope, not right now.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who has watched and followed along with us. The comment section has been wonderful this week. You guys are beautiful. We love our watchers. We love our sponsors. And thank you to our guests for hanging out with us. Great conversation today. We will see you guys again next week with some more authors to introduce you to and some more, hopefully, great conversation. Bye, guys.